Underrated Developer Spotlight. Hey guys, welcome to the first entry in my new series, Game Dev Spotlight. This is a series where we perform a retrospect of game developers, particularly ones that I believe are very underrated. Similar to the Zero View review series, where I go through games with no reviews, this series will have a look at game developers that have been making games that are, in my opinion, severely underrated and deserve more attention. The company we are putting under the spotlight today is a small Japanese company based in Nishi Shijuku called Kairosoft. Kairosoft's origin story rewinds all the way back to the year of 1996. The company was first founded making doujin games. Doujin soft refers to software created by Japanese hobbyists, known as circles, creating games with the purpose of fun more than directly trying to make profit. Doujin software is essentially self-published video games, often considered to be Japan's equivalent to an indie game developer. The most frequent genres of doujin include platformers, fighting games, RPGs, and visual novels. Kairosoft initially began developing simulation games for Windows machines. The first ever game that was released was called Bookstore Story, a game about managing a small bookstore. This game was never translated from Japanese to English. However, recently in 2021, a user attempted to create a fan translation of the game with the help of other Kairosoft fans. The game was actually fan translated and is now available for download. I've added a link to the description of this video if you'd like to check it out. After the release of the first game, Kairosoft then went on to develop their next main series game, Game Dev Story, releasing in 1997. Little did Kairosoft know, this game would one day spawn an entire subgenre of development games inspired by the title, and proved to become Kairosoft's most successful game to date, and will change the company forever. There will be more on Game Dev Story later up in this video. At this point in time, Kairosoft has exclusively been making games for Windows machines, but this changed in 2001 when they decided to switch developing their titles for mobile phones. Japan's phone market in 2001 was exploding with popularity and held a significantly larger target market compared to just Windows-based machines alone, as Japan's mobile market was significantly more developed than other countries during 2001. Kairosoft would continue to make mobile games exclusively for Japanese mobile phones throughout the years, with the business being incorporated in the year of 2007. During late 2008, Kairosoft launched a new website to showcase its simulation games. Things progressed steadily into the 2010s, but this year was going to be unlike any other for Kairosoft. In the year of 2010, Kairosoft ported Game Dev Story onto the iOS and Android App Store, hoping to reach a wider international audience with the growing boom of mobile phones now reaching everywhere in the world, not just Japan. And they were right. Game Dev Story was a massive hit. The new international port of Game Dev Story was a hit for Kairosoft, achieving an impressive feat of reaching the top 10 sales charts in the Apple Store on the first week of release. Kairosoft had broken into the international market and was no longer a niche doujin creator. They had an international audience, eager to play the next games after Game Dev Story. To see the impact of Game Dev Story, just have a look at all the other similar game clones that have released since then. Game Dev Tycoon, YouTuber's Life, Game Studio Tycoon. There's so many that come to mind, and it's just so amazing that it stemmed from a game made in 1997 for Windows. Kairosoft was so ahead of its time even in 1997. Kairosoft's game formula proved to complement mobile gameplay really well, with its simplistic touch controls and addicting gameplay always making the player come back for more. It was a perfect match for playing their games in small intervals, using a mobile device for small and frequent play sessions. Over the next coming years, mobile devices would be their primary target platform, steadily increasing multiple entries across iOS and Android. In the year of 2012, Kairosoft was ranked as the 30th position of Pocket Gamer's top 50 developers of 2012. Deservingly so after numerous years of making games with exceptional charm and value. In 2014, Kairosoft officially began a large business in Japan, following with the success of their mobile games. In the year of 2018, Kairosoft then began to port their libraries to the Nintendo Switch, hoping to capitalize on another portable market with the new Nintendo Switch console. Not skipping a beat, in 2019, Kairosoft began expanding their library onto the PlayStation 4. After moving to consoles, Kairosoft began targeting Steam ports of their mobile games, and this started in March of 2020 to present. With the Kairosoft games now being more accessible than ever on a wide variety of devices, I wanted to make this spotlight to highlight their fascinating story. From developing niche Windows games in Japan in 1996, all the way to topping international App Store charts, Kairosoft has had an amazing history. With all these amazing games under their belt, I still believe Kairosoft is an extremely underrated company that deserves a lot more attention. The key factor determining this statement is the quality of their games. Kairosoft games are, in my opinion, in a league and genre of their own. Kairosoft games are so filled with charm and unique mechanisms that it always pulls the player back to want to play more throughout their playthrough. Kairosoft really nailed a unique take on a simulation game with Game Dev Story, and Kairosoft have continued to use this game as a base for all their future titles. I am planning to do more videos on Kairosoft on this channel, including why I find their games to be so quality, so please consider subscribing if you enjoyed this content. Thanks for checking out my developer spotlight on Kairosoft. If you enjoy the sound of Kairosoft games, I highly encourage you to check out their games. Kairosoft has been making consistently amazing games since Game Dev Story, and they are now available on almost every platform. I would recommend playing the games on their original mobile releases, but the Steam and console ports are good too. Just keep in mind that this is a port of a mobile game. I want to finish this video with an announcement on topic to today's video. On my channel, alongside my Zero View review series, I am planning to review every single English Kairosoft game ever released. One by one, each with an individual video review. This is going to be a massive task that I've been wanting to work on for years. Let me know what you think in the comments below. The first review will of course be on Game Dev Story, which will be available soon. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed my first ever underrated developer spotlight episode. Stay tuned for more Zero View reviews, developer spotlights, and Kairosoft content coming up in the future.